Alright, today I'm going to demonstrate how to convert the evaluation numbers that you can run for a department or a school and convert them into the Excel form that I use for the faculty evaluation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the menu on the Portico homepage, to Administrative Apps, and to Reports, so that I can generate a report for my department and their evaluations for the last year. I will then go to Deans and Chairs, and I will use the course evaluation multi-year report to get the data set. The terms that I'm going to use here are last year's, or a full year, so I'm going to pick one fall and one spring. And so I'm going to select fall 17, and I'm also going to select spring 18 to generate data. And the value that we will use within most of the universities is revision 1. And I'll hit apply. Depending on how large your department is, it will take a bit of time. Then I will go ahead and download the report using Actions, Export, and I will export it as an Excel file. This allows us to use a formula to grab all of this data to put into the template for each individual faculty member. So now I'll go ahead and open up that downloaded file. And so now we have, I'm going to close out Portico, and now we will have the data set for your department. You'll need two other templates to use, and I will go ahead and open those. And the two templates are, one, the end of year summary template. This is going to begin a template for each of your faculty. And once I start this, what I'm going to do is save it for the faculty member individually. And then the faculty Excel report to document conversion. This is going to save the typing. It's got a formula so that it will extract the data from what you just downloaded into the right format. Unfortunately, the report doesn't convert it into the correct format. All right, and so I'll move this out of the way. So I have three files: the data set that you're going to work with, the template for each individual faculty member, and then a template to convert the information from the report you ran and to the report that you want to generate. And so what I'll probably first do is save the new faculty, and so I'll go faculty, save, and I will save it as person's name, so faculty's last name and initial, and I will go ahead and save that. So I've now saved a copy of that. Each individual faculty member, if you take a look, will have data set, and some faculty will have 2 semesters because they've taught both, and some faculty, depending upon their circumstance, may only teach 1 semester, and in this case I have 1 semester only, the spring 18, whereas the previous faculty members have taught 2. So what I'll go ahead and do is I will take the data set, and so this is a faculty member. I want to extract their data. I will go to the document conversion template to get the Excel file that has a template document. And so what you see here is this column. Okay, I need to extract the data that looks like this as generated and produce into a form that looks like this. Now what I've done is, if you go and look at this individual formula, all I've done is I said that number is this number, hit return, and then I put this second number that's going to populate in this area is this one that is highlighted, and so on. And so I've matched all of the data sets. Now I have a template that has 2 semesters data and 1 semester because they don't line up. If you don't, they don't line up exactly if it's 1 semester or 2 semesters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit copy. Okay, this is off the conversion template. I'm going to go to the data set for that year, and I'll make sure this began in the O column, so I'm going to begin in the O column. I'm going to hit paste. By doing that, now the data set matches the person. And so here is 2.18, here's 2.18, 1.87, 1.87, 1.90, 1.90, and it takes the data from this faculty member that I want to extract for that 1 year. I simply now copy this data set, copy, and I go back to the actual person that I want to look at. I'm going to build data over 5 years. And if this was their first year, I will hit paste special values and place it in. At this moment in time now, I have placed the data set for that 1 year. And now I can make this a little bit bigger, and you can take a little bit more time to look at this. Now what this template does for each year will make a differential between the department and the university's evaluative number versus the faculty itself. Now, when I go down and I look at this data set, what I find is this faculty had one item that was 0.5 or above greater than the departmental average. They had 12 that were above by 0.2, slightly better, and then within 0.2, either up or down, that's within the departmental average. And so depending on this, that's good data, but what you would like to do is color code it so that you can see trend lines. And so I'm going to show you an example color coding, which is the tab that is on this template. And you can see, I'm going to make this a little bit larger so we can take a look at it. You can see that I color code the differences based upon where they were. And this is a really good example right here. So in their first year, they were significantly below. In this year, they improved, but they were still below the average. And this year, they became above the average significantly. This became above the average slightly, and then in the last 2 years, they were significantly above. And so a red meaning that it is a not as good a score as you would like, an orange for a caution, a light green for positive, and a dark green for very positive. And so what I would go back here is match and color code. So this now, I can color code it to say that, that one was above the average, but not at the highest level. This was above the average. This one was significantly above the average. They did a really good job. And what I do is I use the primary colors in this scheme right here on your standard color palette to use that. And by looking at the color codes, and I go back, and going through this allows you to really look at the data and make sure that you're understanding what's going on. So I find it valuable to color code them myself, but it's also valuable for you to review it. And as a contrast, coming back to the original report for all of your faculty members, some faculty members may have 1 semester, they may have been on sabbatical, it could be a part-time person that you're looking at, and so how do you extract data from one that has only 1 semester versus one that, as an example, has 2 semesters? To do this, they align differently, so I've placed on the faculty Excel report document conversion to template. You'll be using mostly a 2-semester formula, but here I have also provided you a 1-semester formula. And so because the alignment, I have to place the equal signs in different cells. So I will copy this and place it here. And as you can see now, the data set in the first, or in this case, the data set for the first question, 1.88, 1.88, the second department 1.87, 1.87, and the university 1.89, 1.89, and they will track all the way through. What I do want to show you, and then you will cut and paste the data set. And again, copy paste special because you just want the values into the faculty member's individual file. I'm going to show you what would happen if you use the wrong formula for the wrong data set. So here I'm going to copy a 2-semester formula, conversion formula, for a person that has a 1-semester set of data. And what you can see is, that definitely isn't a number. That isn't this faculty's 1.88. It now says faculty. And instead of the 1.87, it says department. And so you can see immediately that if you place the wrong, copy the wrong formula into the wrong faculty member, or the ones that have differential number of semesters, you will see immediately that it doesn't line up. When you use all of these formulas and doing all of this work, you do need to check, individually spot check, to make sure that the data is moving in the right places. Go ahead and take a look at an overview. And so if you go to this overview summary, this is data for 5 years, you can take this chart and you can see progression. And I tell faculty members that I don't expect them to be perfect in their teaching the first semester. But what we want to do is see improvement through their process, identifying where weaknesses, working in their PAC-PAR process to address those issues, and a good faculty member will show improvement. And then you can look at individual items where you can see how the improvement has progressed, going from not as strong to becoming strong over a period of time. And so I think that's an important part of this process. Again, the numerical evaluation is only one aspect of a faculty member's portfolio. It needs to be balanced with both the verbal, which is very informative, and the other aspects are there other pieces in their portfolio which are important. But within the process at Lee, teaching must be a component within their portfolio. That's the first item that we address, and then they have to contribute something significantly outside the teaching realm to be considered an effective faculty member here at the university.